about mid 2013, we start getting phone calls from this crazy, wacky group of people called biohackers. And I can say that affectionately now because I am a biohacker. And they were saying things like, well, their first question was, how much of this stuff should I be taking? And my business partner and I were, wearing our conservative carbon nanomaterial hats. And what we heard was, hey, Chris, that stuff that you sell to research institutions around the world to put into ink, batteries, tires, and photocells, how much of that stuff should we be taking on a daily basis? And my business partner and I were like, we think zero. Like zero is probably the appropriate number.
Even though you've seen this study with the rats, that's kind of still where you're at.
Yeah, we're just conservative, right? Like it's kind of like if I were to be able to convince you that there was something in your battery to take, right? That somebody came to me and said, this thing, when I drink the water out of the battery, it's amazing. I would still at least start with, no, that's not, that's right. And because it's, our material and we have it on the market, we added not for human consumption to the labeling.
Okay.
And to be clear, like that study and others showed that the molecule was safe, right? That it was a non-toxic molecule. Again, if anything is true, it's non-toxic when all the control rats are dead. And then, so we decided we added not for human consumption on our labeling. We were getting these phone calls really about mid 2013, kind of going into the latter part of 2013, where people would call us up and say, hey, Chris, I love your product. My knee pain is gone. And we would say, you mean the knee pain of your rat, right? Because literally it says not for human consumption on the labeling. And they would go, yeah. So if my rat weighs 275 pounds and does HIIT training on Tuesdays and Thursdays, how much should my rat be taking? Okay, so my business partner and I are getting together every quarter. We're getting these 2 to 3 of these calls per week. And we're making the decision, do we want to get into the supplement space? Yeah. And I think you would say that again.
Transitioning to humans is, there's a lot of implications, and I assume a lot of kind of red tape there.
Well, we're a lab, so we do things at such a high level, like that red tape was nothing for us, right?
Okay.
It really was this juxtaposition of it's a car battery, like it's a material for a car battery. Should we be encouraging people to consume it? Again, the literature was clear. We're just conservative scientists. We're happy to be selling the material, happy to be, supporting the Electrochemical Society. And one of our challenges, one of the things we kept coming back to is the supplement industry is very different than the research industry, right? When I sell this black powder, right, it's carbon, it's a black powder to a research institution, they take that powder, they give it to a research associate, they give it to a grad student who has the equipment, the HPLC, who has the knowledge on how to confirm that we shipped them what we sold them, and they test it, right? This is not how the supplement space works.
Yeah.
In fact, in this time frame, and we really changed our mind at the latter part of 2017, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But in that time period, between 2013 and 2017, I found a research paper that said 50% of the supplements that this research group had purchased off the market did not have in them what they said they had in them.
Yeah,
right.
Lovely.
Lovely and no surprise, right? Like this is the thing that people are concerned about. You hear about a new supplement and you're like, oh my God, I really would like to take it. Where do I get it? Like, how do I find a reliable source?
Right.
That is the challenge you go.
And that goes with anything, even like you use olive oil, right? Even olive oil, like a lot of times what you think you're getting is not what you're getting.
There's a lot of fraud in the olive oil industry, right? Like they're cutting it with palm oil, and we actually have a strategy to try and mitigate that because it is a mitigation. We're doing the best we can to stop it, because if you actually want to understand if it's ever been cut with palm oil, by the way, if they do too much, then you can actually see it and you can stick it in the fridge and some things will happen differently. But if you actually want to know, you have to do genetic testing. You actually have to test the oil to see if there's the genes of palms instead of olives in there.
Okay.
Right. And so that's not cost effective for sure. So 50% of the supplements don't have in them what they say they have in them. We're still getting these 2 to 3 phone calls a week. Finally, at the latter part of 2017, a guy with a big YouTube following started talking about all the benefits he was getting, taking it on a daily basis. And our phone went from ringing 2 to 3 times a week to 10 times a day.